Have you ever felt overwhelmed by your own emotions? Like you're caught in a storm of anxiety, anger, or sadness? What if I told you there's a way to find calm in the middle of that storm? A psychological tool that can help you navigate life's challenges with greater clarity and peace. This isn't about becoming cold or unfeeling. It's about learning the art of healthy detachment. So, what exactly is detachment in a psychological sense? It's not about ignoring your feelings or pushing people away. It's the ability to observe your thoughts and emotions from a distance without letting them control you. Imagine you're sitting on a riverbank, watching leaves float by. Those leaves are your thoughts and feelings. You can see them, acknowledge them, but you don't have to jump into the river and get swept away by them. That's detachment. It's the space between a stimulus and your reaction. This concept is rooted in ancient philosophies like Stoicism and Buddhism, but it's also a cornerstone of modern therapies like cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT, and acceptance and commitment therapy, or ACT. These approaches teach us that while we can't always control what happens to us, we can control how we respond. Detachment is the key to unlocking that control. Let's get one thing straight. Detachment is not apathy or indifference. Apathy is a lack of feeling or interest. Detachment is feeling everything, but choosing not to be enslaved by those feelings. It's the difference between saying, I don't care, and saying, I feel this, but I am not this feeling. I can choose how to act. It's an active, conscious process, not a passive shutdown. It's about engaging with life from a place of stability, not disconnecting from it. So why is this so important? Because emotional attachment, when it becomes unhealthy, can be a source of immense suffering. When we over-identify with our thoughts, we get stuck in cycles of worry. When we're too attached to specific outcomes, we set ourselves up for disappointment and frustration. Think about a time you were desperate for a particular job. The waiting, the anxiety, the crushing disappointment if you didn't get it. That's the pain of over-attachment to an outcome. Healthy detachment allows you to pursue your goals with passion, but without your self-worth being tied to the result. You can still want the job, prepare for the interview, and do your best. But if it doesn't work out, you can process the disappointment without it shattering your sense of self. You can say, okay, that's a shame. I'm disappointed. What's the next step? What can I learn from this? This is emotional resilience in action. Let's explore how detachment plays out in different areas of our lives. First, in our relationships. Have you ever heard the term codependency? This is a classic example of unhealthy attachment. It is when your sense of self is so intertwined with another person that you lose your own identity. You feel responsible for their happiness, and your mood depends entirely on theirs. Healthy detachment in a relationship means you can love someone deeply and support them, but you recognize that you are two separate individuals. You don't take their moods or actions personally. You can offer support without trying to fix them. This creates space for both people to grow and fosters a much healthier, more sustainable connection built on love, not need. You maintain your own hobbies, friendships, and sense of self. Now, let's talk about detachment from material possessions and success. We live in a society that constantly tells us we need more: the latest phone, a bigger house, a more prestigious job title. We become attached to these external validators of our worth. But this is a fragile foundation for happiness. Possessions can be lost, and success can be fleeting. Detachment here means appreciating what you have without being defined by it. It's enjoying your nice car, but knowing that your happiness doesn't depend on Italiano. It's striving for professional success, but understanding that your value as a person isn't measured by your job title or your salary. This mindset frees you from the constant pressure of comparison and the fear of loss. It allows you to find joy in the process, not just the outcome. So, this all sounds great in theory, but how do we actually practice it? It's a skill, and like any skill, it takes practice. A powerful starting point is mindfulness meditation. Mindfulness is the practice of paying attention to the present moment without judgment. When you meditate, you're retraining your brain to do exactly what we talked about, to sit on the riverbank and just watch your thoughts. You can start with just 5 minutes a day. Sit quietly. Close your eyes and focus on your breath. Your mind will wander. That's what minds do. You'll think about your to-do list, what you're having for dinner, that awkward thing you said yesterday. The practice isn't about stopping those thoughts. It's about noticing them without getting hooked. When you notice your mind has wandered, Gently label it thinking and guide your attention back to your breath. Each time you do this, you're building your detachment muscle. Another practical technique from CBT is called cognitive diffusion. This involves creating distance from your thoughts by changing how you relate to them. For example, instead of thinking I am anxious, you can rephrase it as I am having the thought that I am anxious. See the difference? I am anxious is an identity statement. I am having a thought frames it as a temporary mental event, something that is happening to you, but is not you. You can even get a little playful with it. Imagine your anxious thought is a cartoon character with a squeaky voice, or see it written on a billboard that your mind bus is driving past. These simple mental tricks help break the fusion between you and your thoughts, giving you the space you need to choose your response. Journaling is another fantastic tool. Writing down your thoughts and feelings gets them out of your head and onto paper. This externalization immediately creates distance. You can look at what you've written with a more objective perspective. You might notice patterns, challenge unhelpful beliefs, and gain clarity on what's really bothering you, rather than just being swamped by a vague sense of unease. Let's also talk about embracing uncertainty. A lot of our unhealthy attachment comes from a desire to control everything. We want to know exactly how things will turn out, but life is inherently uncertain. Detachment is about making peace with that. It's about focusing on what you can control: your actions, your effort, your attitude, and letting go of what you can't. This isn't about being passive. It's about being strategic. Instead of wasting energy worrying about things outside your control, you channel that energy into productive action. You focus on your process, not the uncontrollable outcome. This is the mindset of top athletes and performers. They focus on their training, their technique, their mindset, the things they can control, and they let the final score take care of itself. Practicing detachment can fundamentally change your experience of life. It reduces stress and anxiety because you're no longer constantly fighting with your own mind. It improves your relationships because you can love more freely without neediness or control. It boosts your resilience because you learn that you are more than your successes or failures. You develop a stable, internal sense of self-worth that isn't dependent on external circumstances. This journey is not about achieving a perfect state of Zen where nothing ever bothers you. That's unrealistic. It's about having the tools to navigate the inevitable challenges of life with more grace and wisdom. It's about being an active participant in your life, not a passive reactor to it. It's about finding freedom. The freedom to feel deeply without being overwhelmed, to love generously without losing yourself, and to strive passionately without being crushed by the outcome. It starts with a simple choice. The choice to observe your next thought instead of becoming it. Try it right now. Take a deep breath and notice that space, that moment of awareness. That's where your power lies. That's the beginning of a more peaceful, centered, and truly empowered you. Thank you so much for watching. If this resonated with you, let me know in the comments what your biggest takeaway was. And for more content on psychology and personal growth, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next video.